If you've been struggling with mixing your drums and your drums sound weak, but you want that punchy, that heavy sound that you hear on the radio or on the CDs that you listen to, well, this is the right video for you. All right, let's get started. All right, let me explain what we are doing here because the prep is very, very important. You can't skip it. I do it in this order to get the best sound out of my drums. The first thing I do is I go to my master bus and I put a gentle compressor on there. So we're going to turn that on, and it's the glue. It glues everything together for me, the entire song. So I mix into it, and then I put another limiter on it. I set that to a minus 0.2 for the out ceiling so it doesn't hit hard. Okay, so you can hear how heavy that sounds, and it's too broad, and it's very boom, 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 right? There's no definition just yet. So to shape it, okay, so these two are my main kicks. So let me play them by themselves. Okay, so it's nice and clean, but it's booming. And if you were to turn this all the way up loud, there's no way your speaker can take it, right? So the first thing we want to do is shape it. But before we do that, I want to show you this. Okay, so remember we talked about putting the glue compressor on the master fader. Now watch this needle right here, and you tell me what it's doing or what you think it's doing. Hardly doing anything. It's very gentle, so it's not squashing or anything. It's just containing the transients. That's it. We're not doing anything crazy to it. This is where the real compression is. This right here. So we're going to take this off. So now watch the meter. So right now it's not engaged. But watch this. Can you hear that bounce? So this is what I've done here. Now the LA2A has a limiter right here and a compressor, so you can switch between the two. So I switched to the compressor, that's one, and then I gave the gain, well I set the gain at roughly 38 decibels. And for the peak reduction, I'm at roughly 45.5-ish. It's kind of hard to see the calibration, but that's what I think it is, right? And of course you can turn it on or off. You can see that, right? You can see the meter right here, right? So this is the simplest compressor you can use. Now, if you're having a problem with the sound that you have, you can go here, and then you have some presets over here. So for example, pop vocals, you can pump your drums, right? And all of that. So you have presets to work with. Okay. But that's not all. So you're gonna go, okay, well, that sounds nice. But the problem with that sound, it's that it's got a bottom but no top. So we're gonna add the top to it. I'm gonna play the top by itself. Now the top kick, if you notice here, there is no compressor, no EQ, nothing. Let's play that. Let's play by itself. Okay, now together, watch this. Good. So that gives that top without having to use an EQ. But watch this. Let's say you've done the song and you think it's too boomy, right? Well, this is what mastering is for, right? So now you can go here and go and change the attack. See? But that's not what we want. That's nice, right? Let's go to the snare now. I'm sorry, it's a clap. Okay, for the clap, I had to match it to that sound, that top end, ta-ta-ta-ta, right? Because this is hitting hard. So the 808s are giving me the bottom, and then the kick here is giving me the top. So let's go to the snare, to the clap. I keep saying snare. The DBX, if you remember, well, maybe you probably don't remember, you guys are young. I'm old. But the DBX 160 is a classic hardware we used to have in the studio back in the day, and every studio in LA had one. There's no studio in Los Angeles that didn't have one. If you didn't have a DBX 160, it's like, I'm not going there. All right, so check this. Watch it pop. Ooh. All right, so I gave it a little bit of course, 3.21 compression. It's stereo, so it's left. Can you see there? Left and right. And then, of course, I changed the output gain a little bit. And my threshold is at 0.290 right there. All right. Okay, and then for the snare, I keep saying snare. For the clap, I had to dial in the mid-range. So it's a little bit about 1K, 1.1K, and then I swept by 2 decibels, and I added 2 decibels of treble. Let's do that again here. Without. With. This is brighter. And then I made it wider. Ooh. Yeah, much wider. Right? And I added my reverb to it. So let's play it all together. I think I like that. That's it. Pull the volume down. Okay, I like that. So far, I mean, we could make adjustments later, but for now, let's do the hi-hat. For the hi-hat, you can tell I boosted the mid-range. In fact, I boosted everything, really. Nice. Again, my DBX. Nice compression. And then to add movement to it, listen. You can hear it go left to right and right to left. Now let's add the rest of the components. That's good. And then let's go to the drum rolls. which is this. Okay, for the drum roll, I have a compressor on it, very basic, just a bus compressor. And I have my reverb on it. So let's go. And then we have the crash. All right, let's listen. Let me do an added bonus. I wanted you to hear the marriage between the kicks and the bass. That's a bonus because these two must marry each other. They have to be in sync and nice and meshed together. But again, I am not using parallel compression. I am simply filtering out the frequencies so they can blend in perfectly. Let's go to the bass. So now check this. With that bass, I have a basic basic compressor on it, very gentle. So listen. My threshold is up 9.0 and my makeup gain is at 3.0. And then the attack is just basically, again, 1 millisecond. It's not really doing anything. It's more like a control. It's more like controlling the transients. Here's what I'm doing here. I'm not touching the bottom end. A little sweep in the mid range, very gentle. For the high frequency, I am boosting that by 6 decibels. So watch this. Okay, now why? Because I needed it to match the kick. Plus, the 808s already have supplied the bottom or the bottom end, right? The kick has supplied the top end for the drums. So I don't need the bottom end on the bass, which is why I chose that sound. So watch. Let's blend them all together. So kick first. At this point, all I hear is boom, 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 right? Now we're gonna bring in the top kick, so watch. So the top kick acts as a bridge between the bottom end huge bass and the top end bass, so watch. So you can hear 3 things. Bottom end, the boom, right? The ta-ta-ta-ta of the kick, right? And the melody of the bass. Watch again. And that's it. That's Mixing R&B Drums 101. Basic, simple, and straight to the point. And we're out. All right, guys. Since you're here, I might as well subscribe and like the video. That's pretty much it. Thank you.